Hello and welcome to another live Sprues and Brews battle in the very first episode of our Talons of Thondia series. So we are embracing the Path to Glory element of the new 3rd edition of Age of Sigmar. We are pitting the Ogre Moor tribes, led by Jarlrift Giantbreaker, my Ogre Tyrant, against the Lumineth. Who's the leader of your Lumineth army, Jay?
Lord Feanor of Iliatha.
That's a very fancy name.
That's only a third of his name. He's got quite a big name, but I think I'd let him see how he gets on before I read that out.
So if for those of you new to the show or who've not maybe listened to the podcast, what we're planning to do with the new edition of Age of Sigmar is create a Path to Glory army for every faction in the game, put them through a series of battles and watch them grow, essentially over the life of the edition. That's the plan anyway. Really want to focus on maybe units that you wouldn't normally see in an army list, lots of different stuff, get some fun things in there. So today we're going to be playing the mission, The Trap. This is a match play battle plan out of the core book. Essentially, my army of ogres are searching for the wizard flesh apron. So I think there's probably maybe the grave site of a famous elven wizard, and they want to defile the corpse and take the skin back because Jarlrift wants to employ a slaughtermaster to join his cause, and he thinks enticing him with the skin of a dead wizard would be a nice way to bring him on board. The Lumineth aren't so happy about that though, are they, Jay?
No, certainly not. So Lord Feanor is leading out a small host of Lumineth from Tor Ithildin, his fortress, to safeguard this grave site of a fallen Lumineth wizard. The quest that Lord Feanor is trying to achieve as well is the Master Magical Lore, I think it's called, or Quest for Magical Lore. So he's looking to sort of, if he can safeguard the gravesite of this fallen wizard, he may be able to retrieve an ethereal blessing spell in as a reward. Nice,
excellent. So in this game, my ogres are going to deploy in this small little quarter of the map. They have to go down first, and then the ambushers, the elves, can basically set up anywhere they like. They have to be 12 inches away from my models. However, if they fully deploy within a terrain piece, they can be 3 inches away from my models. So, yeah, obviously, depending on the factions, you might want to be quite aggressive. I'm not sure the elves want to be quite that aggressive. Essentially, the elves need to kill the ogres. They're encroaching on their land. They want to get rid of them. They get a 2 victory points for each unit they destroy. I get a victory point at the end of each battle round for each unit that's still alive. So if Jay can kill some units early on, he's got a good lead, but as I start getting a couple of turns with all the ogres alive, it may go to the ogres. Now again, with this being Path to Glory though, one of the real things we're trying to do is achieve our quests as well. So I will get a point for each unit that is in enemy territory, which in this battle is quite big.
Yeah.
If I can get 3 of them, they will find this artifact they're looking for. Likewise, Jay's army, each time they cast a spell with an 8+, that will increase their tally by 1. And again, if they get it 3 times, they can get the spell they're looking for. So, hello to everyone in the chat who's watching. Who are you rooting for? Let us know what you think of the force as well once we've deployed them. As part of the mission, I have to deploy first. So I'm going to set up my units. I've not got much space to play with, and really, as much as I'd like to punch elves in the face, I'm really better off staying away from him and moving around. The only thing that might hinder that is the archers can shoot me without line of sight, can't they?
Can, yeah.
So I might have to try and deal with them. So I think we'll put down a unit of Uruks. Now, the thing with these guys, they've got 6 models. So they're going to have to stay within an inch of 2 models until I lose one.
Yeah.
We've got the Tyrant himself, and then I think we'll put these here as a fast force. So we've got a unit of man-eaters here. I'm giving them the upgrade that lets them re-roll hits of 1 for their pistols and throw in stars. So they're very much my shooter units. And that's my army deployed. So not many units. We can start off with 600 points in this Path to Glory Crusade, and over the course of the game, over the course of the campaign, we will get glory to spend on additional units and reinforce units and add some cool stuff. So both of us are very limited on body count in this one. So Jay, you can set up your entire force now outside of 12 inches on my models, or 3 inches if they're fully within a terrain piece.
If I'm feeling brave and I want to put someone there, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, you could well do that. I don't know how long you'd survive within eating distance of all these guys.
Let's put him. Let's put Lord Feanor. In fact, where's your... He's only there, so he's pretty central place there. We'll put him there.
He's very heroic starting out in the open there. I guess that's the hard thing for you, because traditionally the Lumineth are more a defensive force, where in this one you want to start taking out these units, don't you?
That's it, I need to start taking them out quickly, so I'm thinking I need to start quite close to you really. And it's always fun putting Orallan Wardens down with their 3-inch pikes.
That is an impressive pike they've got. Skewer an ogre or two with that.
Yeah, well, they've actually come out with the new edition quite well, because obviously they have to stay in coherency, and Lumineth already have quite strict coherency rules if you want to maintain the Shining Company. But with their 3-inch reach, it's not so much as a hindrance as it is for other units with like only 1-inch reach. So the a good example is the Alaris Stone Guard, who are only a 1-inch range with those guys. So there we go. That's 1 unit. This fella is going to go... I do want him sort of over there. We'll put the archers, because it's not such a big problem for the archers. They can sort of go anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, the archers are pretty good.
Put the archers here.
So everyone out in the chat, who are you rooting for? Are you supporting the ogres? Because they're just hungry. All they want to do is dig up a dead elf and steal its flesh. That's perfectly acceptable, surely. Or the filthy, pointy-eared elves, which should obviously be the wrong answer here.
Oh no, his sword's come off.
You have to say though, they do look glorious, Jay.
Yeah, thanks. They're not 100% finished yet. Still working on them, but I'm really loving painting the Lumineth. And I mean, if you listen to the podcast, it's pretty much all I've been painting this year. Well, I had a little bit of a thingy with the Tau Titan and the Blood Angels.
Oh, you did,
towards
yeah.
the beginning of the year, and then it sort of. I need to measure. Actually, he's got a spell that he can cast, but he's okay there.
I think this may be an aggressive, quick game, Jay.
Yeah, I mean that's the beauty of the smaller points sizes, I think, as well in this Path to Glory. I think it's still going to be an exciting game. It's a different type of game, isn't it, than match play? You've not got objectives to worry about so much, and you can just focus on the actual narrative sort of. Yeah,
it depends on the mission. One of the great things about Path to Glory is that you can play. Say we've got the let's put it on this camera here, the General's Handbook. You could well play missions from the General's Handbook 2021. While still having a Path to Glory force, which is really cool. So you're not stuck into playing just one type of battle, are you?
That's it, yeah. And I think that mixes things up a bit.
Obviously, we're both super excited for any kind of Path to Glory packs that come out. I think they're pretty much in the rule book. They're looking at doing ones themed around different realms. So yeah, I think that'd be great fun.
There we go.
Well, that is a big assortment of elves that have not so much of an ambush as a wall of elves that my orcs have walked into.
It's like the Battle of the Last Alliance.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, no, that's really cool. So, as you are the ambusher, you can pick who gets the first turn, Jay. Do you want the ogres to come up at you, or do you want to take a preemptive strike and deal with them?
I will take the first turn.
You'll take the first turn?
Yeah, I want to try and I've got a few defensive spells which I think will be quite handy to get off.
Get in a decent position before the ogres hit you.
Exactly, yeah.
So you take the first turn, you get a command point, and you get another command point for your general being alive and on the table. I get 2 command points, plus an additional 1 for being on the table. And you know what? No, that's it. So 3 command points I get. Now, neither of us have got any battalions because we haven't really got enough bodies to use those battalions yet.
No.
Obviously, as the Path to Glory grows, we can add more units and add extra things to it. So yeah, Jay, onto the hero phase. Now, you've not had the joys of using any of these juicy heroic actions
This
yet.
is my first game of Age of Sigmar 3, yeah, I'm real looking forward to it. So I'm just looking through the hero actions, yeah, so I think, to start with, heroic leadership, there's no limit on the amount of times you can use that in the course of a game, is there?
No.
So I think that's the best one for me to use to start with.
Excellent.
So pick a friendly hero, roll the dice, add 2 if your general's been slain, not yet. On a 4+, you receive a command point. I rolled a 1.
Oh, unlucky, unlucky.
No command point for me.
Okay, cool. So I'm... Ooh, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to use heroic willpower, because that will let me unbind a spell, dispel a spell, as if they were a wizard. And at the minute, I haven't got a great deal of magical defence, and Jay's entire army can cast spells, is that right?
They can, yeah.
So yeah, let's...
That's a good one to take, yeah.
see if they can stop any spells, but yeah, at least it stops one.
Well, if you want to stop one, you probably want to stop this first one. Well, maybe. This first one I'm going to cast then is the Greater Protection of Heesh. So this is off the Lord Regent. He has his spell in here. It's a casting value of 7, but he gets +1 when he's trying to cast this spell. And this basically lets him pick D3 units and triggers their power of Heesh, so the individual units don't have to cast that spell on themselves.
And that's the mortal wounds on a 5+.
Mortal wounds on a 5+.
Yeah, not keen on that.
So I'm looking for a 6, really. I rolled a 7. An 8 with his +1.
An 8. So now, just out of interest, I'm just going to check if you're looking for unmodified 8s for your quest.
On a quest, yeah.
When the casting roll is 8+, so that is a cast of 8. So that is 1 point on your quest already, Jay. You're going to
I will make
a note of that.
I'll make a note of that, yeah.
So, so I only need a 9 or more to stop that, but I could do with stopping it. So let's try and stop this spell, Jay. Let's try and stop this spell. Switch to the dice.
There's me, yeah. There's me.
That is an 8. So I didn't beat it.
No.
So the spell goes off. That is a shame.
That is... so I can pick D3 units, and you'll probably only find a 1 now. 1 unit. So he will cast that then on the... he'll cast that on the... archers, I think.
Archers, yeah, that seems a sensible choice.
I think so. I'm just checking what spell the archers have got that they can then cast afterwards. They've got protection of Heesh. Yes, we'll cast it on the archers.
Okay, so they will be dealing mortal wounds on a 5+.
Yeah, they've got the power of Heesh spell on them now. Greater power of Heesh, in fact. There we
Amazing.
go. Okay, for my next trick, I will cast with the archers protection of Heesh.
Okay.
And this will go on to a wholly within 9 inches, so it'll be the unit in front here. So they've rolled an 8, and they needed an 8.
Cool. And I've only got the wizard with me, my heroic ability. Obviously, that's another cast of 8 for the purposes of your quest as well.
Cool, cool. Okay, and then the wardens then will cast Lambent Light, I think, which is a range of 18. Yep. So they will try and cast Lambent Light on the man-eaters there. So that goes off on a 9.
So you've completed your quest.
I've completed the quest. I've not rolled a. I've not rolled any
miscast.
miscast yet. Okay, I can't find my Lambent Light spell, so I'm just going to put a Power Heesh on them. Okay.
And what does that do? Sorry?
So that lets me re-roll all ranged attacks against that unit.
To hit.
To hit, yeah. It's quite a good one because if you've got multiple units of archers, and all those archers shoot the same unit, they all re-roll hits. And it's not failed hits, it's all hits, so you can really go fishing for those 5s and 6s. And then the last spell then is going to be on these wardens, and it's... Ooh, do they cast Protection of Heesh? Or do they cast Power of Heesh? Or... We're going to be getting some charges in. Or Total Eclipse. I think they're going to cast their Power of Heesh on themselves.
Power of Heesh,
which is a casting value of 5, which goes off on a 7. So they've got their Mortal Wounds spell up as well.
Okay, this is looking pretty scary, Jay.
Right. Okay, movement phase. Right, so I have to declare now whether I want to leave Shining Company or not.
So what does Shining Company do?
So Shining Company, whilst they're in base contact with 2 models in their unit, they are -1 to hit, but you can't run or charge whilst that's is active, and you can't leave it active and then decide to charge. Like, you have to declare whether you're going to break Shining Company now or not. So I'm not going to break it at this point. Okay. So these have got a movement of 6, so I'm just going to move them up slightly, just to try and force you to do something about them.
Okay.
but they're not going to be making any charges this turn.
Okie dokie. So they can't charge.
They can't charge, you know.
Okay.
They're probably going to get shot a lot.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, they're going to use a command point then. Redeploy.
Oh yeah.
And move d6 inches. 4 inches.
Oh, pretty good.
So I think I can sneak them up a little bit and stay outside of 3 inches. Okay.
Okay. This guy is going to move up to there.
Can we take the general out in the first turn?
And then we better bring up a little bit of support for the general in case he gets flanked. So we'll put this unit up here as well.
So yeah, ideally I need to get my units in your territory, but there's a nasty wall of spears there stopping them. Yeah, not too keen on those guys.
Okay. There we go. Okay, so that's all my movement. Shooting then. Now then, the sentinels are probably best using their aimed arrows against you here because I think you're in range. Yes, that unit's in range, so they can just use their aimed arrows. So yeah, so we're going to let fly with some Oralan sentinels. There's 9 shots in this unit. This is the first time I've ever used sentinels.
Ooh, what rend do these guys have?
So these are Ren -1 at this range.
Now I do feel I need to put all out defence on these guys just to weather the storm a little bit.
Yep.
So they are going to be hitting on 3s, are they?
They're hitting on. Hit on 3s, wounded on 4s. Yeah. So this is interesting. Isn't it? Do I use a command point here? But I need to make these last into my turn, so I'm going to keep all of these. They're not going to use this command point yet.
Okay.
So they're looking for 5s and 6s really. So we've got 3 mortal wounds.
That's a 4.
Oh, sorry.
So 2 mortal wounds.
And I'm going to re-roll these with the Lambent Light. So that's another 2 mortal wounds. So that's 5 mortal wounds.
Yeah, these guys are very good. That's a dead ogre already.
Woo! 1 dead ogre and 3 got through. So these are wounding you on 4s. Just 1 wound at Ren -1, which is sort of negated by your all-out defence.
Yeah. So 5 plus. Nope. So another wound there. Yeah, I don't like those. They're, even in 10s, they're brutal.
It's good with that Lambent Light where you can just go fishing for mortal wounds.
But they're not dead. They're not dead.
They're not dead.
And they can't run away from that as well because they're bravery 7.
And I've got, is it rally, the heroic action rally to worry about?
Yeah, so in a hero phase I could use a command point to try and get a model back.
Okay, so that is the end of my shooting then. I've got no more ranged attacks. So I'm going into the charge phase now, and Lord Feanor is going to declare a charge.
Lord Feanor is charging, okay, cool.
He rolls a 8.
Okay.
So he is just going to go in like this.
Yep, well I'm rinsing through the command points because they're going to all out attack you.
Oh, right, yeah.
With their pistols. So, yeah, it might be a bit foolish here, but they're hitting on 4s. So
-1
hits, that is with a -1.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say from a shot.
So 1 hits and they're wounding on 3s. Yep, that's -1 rend.
Okay, so he has a 3+ save, so 4+. He's okay.
Oh well, that's maybe there's a waste of a command point, but he's got a gun happy. Got to be done. So yeah, it's on to the combat phase then, Jay.
Okay, so he's not going to do any of his. What do I? It's probably too soon for his finest hour. I think his finest hour, if he survives, is going to go against your tyrant. So he's not going to use any command abilities here. Yeah. So he gets 5 attacks with his Regent Sword. These are hitting on 2s. Okay, so he's done 5 mortal wounds.
Yep. So that kills one.
Oh no, he hasn't. He hasn't got Paraheesh. He's done 3 mortal wounds.
Okay, that kills one.
2 hits got through.
He's done 2 mortal wounds.
No, 3 mortal wounds from them, wounds, and then two more hits.
Okay.
These are wounded on 3s. 1 wound at -1.
A -1, so 5+. Yep.
He's okay. And then his horse gets to fight. Not his horse, his light courser. Hit on 3s. So they've all hit. Wounded on 4s. Just 1 wound with no rend.
Just 1 wound with no rend, so that'll be 4+ with the... Yep. So he's fine. Well, that's not good, is it? That's not good at all. But there's an ogre still alive.
Still an ogre alive.
So he gets to punch you back. So Man-Eater gets 4 attacks with their slicers and bashers.
You'll be -1 to hit the Lord Regent with his purest Aether Quartz.
So what's that too? Is that just a base thing on him all the time?
Whilst he's got an Aether Quartz on him, which he hasn't used yet, he is -1 to hit.
He's -1 to hit.
Yep.
Okay. So these are hitting on 4.
And he gets +1 to his cast as well. And then now I can use a command ability now, can't I, to do a action like all out defense. But I've only got 2 command abilities. 2 command points. No, I'll leave that. You're okay.
On the ground, you nearly killed a third of my army. I think you're fine,
Yeah, I
Jay.
think we're okay. We're okay.
So 4+ to hit with a -1. That is
That's
3
pretty good.
hits. The ogres aren't very strong, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. And then wounding on a 3. So that is 1 at -1.
Yeah, so that takes him to a 4+ save, which he failed.
2 damage.
2 damage. Okay.
So
2 wounds suffered.
that's not gone great for the ogres there. Anything else? Nothing else happening there, is there?
And that's it.
No, so I'm going to take a battle shock on them, and he's lost 2 units, 2 models. So he's fine. He's fine. He's got a bravery of 7, but yeah, he was in risk of losing some models there, so that wouldn't have been too good. So yeah, you haven't killed any units though. Which nearly, and I could do with legging it with him really to stay alive.
Yeah, but I thought that's the unit I could probably get down. The other ones, you've got a lot of wounds, haven't you? 4 wounds each.
Yeah.
So I did get lucky with the mortal wounds then, I suppose. He rolled 3 of them.
So, in my turn 1, I'm going to have to do some tricksy stuff here, I think. So, what have we got in the way of heroic abilities this phase? You know what? I'm going to put their finest hour on my tyrant because he's got a perfect opportunity to punch an elf in the face.
Yeah, okay.
And take him out, that stops some of your magical abilities.
It does, it stops a lot.
And maybe buy time for my other guy to leg it away. So, yeah, we'll do that, the finest hour.
I will do heroic recovery. So you roll 2d6. If it's less than the hero's bravery, you heal d3. His bravery is 10. So I rolled a 4, so he's going to heal d3 wounds. He heals 1 wound.
Okay, that's a little bit to stop him up. But Daniel, what's in the chat? How are you doing? Who are you rooting for, Daniel? Are you a fan of the ogres or the Lumineth Realm Lords? The ogres are looking a bit bloodied by the initial onslaught from the elves. I'm not sure how long they'll last, but if at least I can try and get my quests done, we might have a bit of a success here. So, my hero phase, I've rinsed through all my command points in that turn. I shouldn't have really used that Unleash Hell ability, but wanted to show a variety of the different command abilities we can use. What we are going to do, though, is get out of dodge with my Man-Eater. He is going to, basically, Scarper. Bye.
These are elves, aren't they? Not men, I guess. This isn't what I ordered.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, this wasn't on a buffet. So, ogres, if you've not played them before, they have an ability where they get different bonuses based on whether they're hungry, and they're hungry if they're not within 3 inches of an enemy model, or they're eating, where if they're within 3 inches of an enemy model. If they're hungry, they get +2 movement. If they're eating, they get +2 bravery. So actually, he would have been bravery 9, so he couldn't have ran anyway.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that my tyrant has now got a movement of 8 because he's hungry.
Yep.
You know, so that puts him I mean, are we saying we can move through these? What are we saying?
You can move through them. He can slide through. He might get stuck actually with his belly.
You might do. You can go around that way. So he's going to come here and have a go at your general. Now, as much as I'd like to go charging into these elves here, really, I need to stay on target because I'm rapidly running out of units here.
You need to keep units alive, don't you?
I need to keep units alive. So these guys over the other side here, they're going to have to. I think they're going to have to keep moving and force you to move out of your formation.
That's the thing. Yeah, I don't really want to charge. I want to be charged.
Yeah. So let's get these into enemy territory. And again, just being conscious to make sure that they're in formation as well, because otherwise I'm going to be losing models. So they've gone there. So that's it for movement, really. Daniel Watson says Celeste loves Elven Soul, so Ogres. That seems a good bet to me. Now we have got some shooting, Jay.
All right. Okay.
My Tyrant has got a pair of pistols. So he's constantly -1 to hit. Combat and shooting.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
Whilst he's got his Aether Quartz.
Okay, but there's no way to take that off him.
No, I use it myself if I want to.
Okay, so he gets 2 shots. These will be hitting on 5s then. With his pistol.
I'm not looked.
Sorry.
Do I use my? What's the rend of these?
1. I've got no massive rend in my army, Jay.
Rend 1.
D3 damage each.
I will use all-out defense on him.
You use all-out defense this phase, okay?
Yeah.
I rolled 2 1s. Yeah. Yeah.
You could have told me.
You obviously haven't loaded his pistols yet.
It's just like this.
Yeah. Just to scare your horse. So that is really my shooting. He's retreated, so he can't shoot. They haven't got any guns. So we're already onto the charge phase.
Hey.
Tyrant is going to charge.
Okay.
A mighty 5 inches, which is enough to get him in.
You'll get in.
So, Ogres on the charge do impact hits.
Okay.
In my Moor tribe, I roll an additional dice. Basically, based on the roll for your charge, I rolled a 5 there.
Yep.
You roll 5 dice. Each 6 plus does a mortal wound.
Okay.
I get an additional one from my tribe.
Yep.
So basically, these are. You've got like the shooty tribe, the magical tribe. This is the really aggressive tribe that likes to punch elves in the face. So we're looking for 6s here. If you've got units over 8 models, it's 4s that these happen. Now obviously at 600 points I haven't really got enough points to take a big 12-man block of ogres, but if a 12-man block of ogre did a double 6 charge on a unit, that could be really dangerous on the 4+.
Yeah.
So we're looking for 6s. That is no 6s, so he's not doing any more impact hits to you. It is, however, his finest hour, so combat-wise, he could do alright here. He could do alright. So
I will use my last command point for all-out defense on that.
So you've got all-out defense, so you've got...
And that does also, with the Iliatha, you can choose... When a Venari unit uses a command ability, you can pick another Venari unit within 3 inches and they get the same ability. So these guys as well, just in case you decide to pile in on them.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So, the Tyrant is up first. I've got no command points left, but I have got their finest hour. Frustratingly, I'm -1 to hit you.
Yeah, so it balances out.
So,
yeah.
but the finest hour is wound, just wound and save.
+1 to wound, +1 save, of course, yeah.
So yeah, it should be an interesting fight. If I can roll high, I might do a bit of damage here. So first of all, I've got a Thunder Mace. I get 3 attacks. Normally hitting on 3s, I'll be hitting on 4s instead. 1 hit. Nothing to let him reroll 1s, which is a shame. And an unmodified 6 with a mace does mortal wounds in addition. So yeah, lucky that.
Watch out for the Thunder Mace.
Watch out for the Thunder Mace. Yeah, that is now, however, wounding on a 2+.
Yeah.
Which it does, and it is -2 rend.
-2, which would take me to 5, with my +1 for all-out defense back to 4.
Yep.
And he's okay.
Okay, and then we've got the Beast Skewer Glaive, which is 2 attacks. Again, frustratingly, it'll be hitting on 4s because of his Aether Quartz. I do think these ogres are really going to struggle to get through that.
I mean, it used to be even worse with the... you could stack that quite easily in a Lumineth army. Now it caps at 1, which initially you think, oh, that's a bit of a pain, that is, because a lot of the strategies were built on stacking that -1 to hit. But then you think, well, I don't need to worry so much about that now. It can only ever get to -1, so you can perhaps explore other units and combinations that you might not have had, you might not have wanted to do previously. So
So that's 2 hits. There's no bonuses on hits of 6 on this one, which is a shame. Ooh, actually no. This is the Beast Skewer Glaive, isn't it?
Yep.
Hitting on 4s. He's hitting on a 4 and a 6. The 6 has a damage characteristic of D6.
Wow. Okay.
So we'll do that. We'll do that one last.
Yeah.
The normal one is going to wound on a 2, which it does, and then -1 rend.
So I cancel it out. So my 3+ save. He's okay.
And then the other one on a 2+.
Phew.
Doesn't do anything. He's failed at life. So, and that's the ogre.
So that's the ogre. Okay. You stayed out of piling range, didn't you? So I'm not getting into combat with the wardens. So the Lord Regent then, he's going to attack with his Regent's sword. 5 attacks. These are hitting on 2s. So he's done 1 mortal wound.
Yep.
1 miss. Wounded on 3s. 3 wounds at -1.
So you've done a mortal wound, so he's taken a wound, and 3 wounds at -1.
Yep.
So he's got a 4+ save, 3+ with the finest hour, 4+ with the 1 rend, and he's got the gut plate of Gers, so he gets to reroll ones.
All right,
Which is
okay.
pretty good.
It's quite good actually because there's not many things now that let you reroll saves.
No, there's not. There's not. So 4+ reroll on ones gives him a bit more survivability.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Didn't need it. And then it's the horns and claws of the light courser. So these are hitting on 3s. All hit. Wounded on 4s. No wounds though from that.
A very uneventful battle there between the two of them. We've got Grim Dan in the chat. How are we doing? Glad to see you in the chat today. So yeah, the very uneventful phase there. I was expecting both of them to do a lot more than they actually did.
Yeah.
Obviously the -1 really affects my guy, but then he's quite tanky with that reroll as well.
The reroll ones, yeah.
So at the end of the battle round, I actually get 3 victory points because I've still got 3 units alive. Only just, and you were really unlucky not to kill him.
Yeah.
So that puts me on 3 to your 0. Now obviously, as you can start to kill units, you're going to get a bit of a lead. But if I go another turn without anyone dying, I might just start to creep ahead there.
Yeah.
So going into the second battle round, I think this is going to be an important role to see who gets the first turn, isn't it? Oh, crikey. Oh, 5. You get to pick, Jay.
Yes, I think you're right. I think I need to take this turn. I need to try and get to these units before you either rally them to get bring models back or get out of range of any potential charges. So I will take this turn.
So again, you get a command point, and you also get an additional 1 for having your general on the board. I get a command point for my general. I get 2 command points for going second, and I also, with my command ability, my command trait, get an additional 1 because my ogre is eating.
Okay.
So where basically, if he's in combat at the start of the turn, he gets an extra command point, which is really good for the ogres.
Yeah, that is good.
Lucas says, those poor ogres. They've got this, Lucas. It'll be fine.
So, we lose all of the spells.
That drops off as well, does it?
Yeah, it does. Right then, so what am I doing here? Do I do the finest hour? +1 to save, +1 to wound? No, I don't think I need to do my finest hour just yet. I think a heal is probably better for me than. I don't know though. He's in combat with a tyrant. This is his finest hour.
This is his
finest hour.
Let's jump over to him. That is his finest hour right there.
So there we go. So I've activated the finest hour with my heroic ability.
Okay, well my guy's already exhausted his finest hour, so he can't do that again for the entire game. What he can do, however, now this is it. I've only taken a wound. I've got 7 wounds left. Do I try and stop one of those spells, which, to be fair, would be beneficial, or do I heal him up a wound? Because if I can stop those elves pinging those mortal wounds on a 5+, that could make a bit of a difference here. Obviously, they can try and cast it on themselves anyway, so you kind of...
They get 2 chances.
Yeah,
for it,
and I've only got 1 dispel. I'm going to try and heal him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he heals off, doesn't he? So he's taken 1.
Okay.
Okay, so that's our... any command abilities or you've got spells. In fact, in the hero phase, I'm going to try and bring back my models.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing any first before me.
No, I've got no more abilities now.
So I'm using 1 of my command points. I've rolled a dice for each model that I've lost, and on a 6+ I get it back.
Yeah.
Double 6 is what I really need here. Come on, ogres! Oh, no.
I've been looking at the Sylvaneth, writing the Sylvaneth list, and I think units of Kurnoth Hunters, Ogres, that ability is brilliant. You know, in big units, like this unit 6 here, I could probably take me a couple of turns to get through them, and the risk is that they just all come back on a decent rally. It's going to be really cool to see in future battle tools and stuff whether there's any command abilities that interact with that or traits that interact with that rally.
Yeah.
You know, musicians, you can roll it twice, re-roll it, things like that.
And certainly on those big models, you know, units of, I don't know, Vanguard, big tough unit, there's only 1 in 6 chance, but bring one of them back and that's suddenly swung the battle, hasn't
Bring it back on full wounds.
Yeah, exactly. We've got Dodgy Roller in the chat. Good afternoon, or how are you doing, Andy?
Hey up, Andy.
We've got the Ogres facing the Lumineth, so I assume you're on the side of the Ogres today.
I've seen Andy's. Andy's ears are a little bit pointy. I've seen them in real life. He's an elf fan, really.
Is he a secret elf? So at the minute, Andy, the Ogres are actually winning. 3-0. Just, they're gonna lose some models this turn, but if we can hang on another turn, we might have this.
Okay, so we're going to get started then with the Lord Feanor. He's going to cast Greater Protection of Heesh. So this normally goes off on a 7, but he gets +1 to cast it. It's gone off on a 7.
Okay, well, I've got no wizards.
So he picks D3 units, wholly within 2 units, great. Wholly within 18 inches. So he will use himself.
Yep.
And the... Oh, no. Yes, himself and the Sentinels.
Himself and the Sentinels, okay?
Have got their Power of Heesh on them now.
Because this is doing their mortal wounds on a 5.
Mortal wounds on a 5, yeah.
Nasty.
Okay. The Wardens there are going to cast their Lambent Light spell. Oh, no, actually, I wanted to Power of Heesh them as well, actually. Oh, that's tricky. Do I want to... He's got... How many wounds has that Ogre got left?
He's got 3 left.
Okay.
And this is the thing, if I can keep them alive another turn and try and bring them back in my turn, I could have a full strength unit of Man-Eaters back.
Yeah.
Man-Eaters aren't the greatest unit, but I wanted to bring them along to show what they can do.
Yeah. So my dilemma here is whether I want to be re-rolling hits with these to fish for those 3 mortal wounds on him, or whether I want to put Power of Heesh on them so that when they go into the Tyrant, they're getting more mortal wounds through. I think I'm going to cast Power of Heesh on the Wardens instead.
Okay.
So this goes off on a 5. So that's gone off on a 7.
Yep.
So they have the Power of Heesh.
Very easy to do this quest for the spells with the elves, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Power of Heesh on them. Which meant these guys have just got the... oh, hang on, which one was it? They've got Protection of... No, they've got Total Eclipse. Total Eclipse or Power of Heesh on them. And the Sentinels have got a spell as well. So the Sentinels are going to try and cast Total Eclipse.
Sentinels are going to cast Total Eclipse, okay?
Which has a casting value of 8. That's a 7, so they've not done it. So they can spend Aether Quartz after the roll. Magical Insight. No, not that one. Magical Boost. You can say that this unit will use this ability after it has attempted to cast a spell, but before any unbinding rolls. You can either add 1 or re-roll. So I'm going to add 1 to make that an 8.
But that's their Aether Quartz.
That's their Aether Quartz gone. And they are now -1 Bravery as well, because there's no Kaffler around to redirect that.
So what's that spell do?
So this is a good one. So basically this means that until my next hero phase, you have to spend 2 command points to use a command ability rather than 1.
Until your next... Is there a range on that or just in general?
It's just in general. So the caster gestures towards a lunar body above their head, causing a dark shadow to draw across it. This distracts the foe and makes it hard for their leaders to issue effective commands.
Now it's worth pointing out that... But so is that one of the lore spells out of the book?
Lore of Heesh, yeah.
So it could well be that in the FAQ, because in Path to Glory... These units do not count as wizards, so by the same, I guess, ruling, they may also not be able to get extra spells, but obviously we'll see that in the FAQs.
Yeah. Currently, they do get the Lore of Heesh spells in from Age of Sigmar 2, so I can't... I mean, it might change, but... okay. And then that just leaves this unit, which has got... Oh no, sorry. They're the ones with Total Eclipse, so they've cast Total Eclipse, so they can't cast the spell they were going to cast. The Sentinels have got Protection of Heesh, which they'll try and cast now. So actually, they've got the Aether Quartz and they're -1 bravery.
Some elven shenanigans.
No, I've got it written down
sure.
here. I wanted to cast Protection of Heesh on these guys, but it's on the other way around. The Sentinels have got it.
Yeah, okay.
So the Sentinels are going to cast Protection of Heesh, and I think they're going to be out of range of it. Holding within 9 inches, yeah. So I think actually...
Now, is that from the...
It's from the Wizard, yeah. So, no. So they're not going to bother with that spell then.
Okay.
So we're good to go now, I think.
So until your next hero phase, command points cost me 2?
Yes.
That's brutal.
Yeah. There's another spell in the Law of Wind which stops. You can target a unit and they can't benefit from command abilities as well. So you can sort of. Lumineth have got a lot of tools for the different phases of the game. I think. I have a feeling they were really written with 3rd edition in mind.
Yeah.
Also the Calligrave. We were scratching our heads over the Calligrave spell where he can basically do D3 mortal wounds to a target unit, or he can mark them for erasure, and then the next turn he can cast it again and do D6 mortal wounds to them. We're like, well, why wouldn't you just do 2D3?
Yeah.
But if you've got this heroic recovery going on,
well, that's it. You can skip potential heal, can't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is all your spells off then.
Yeah. So shooting phase then. The Sentinels, they can't see your Man-Eater anymore, so they're going to have to do their lofted shot. At that final Man-Eater there.
So is that harder to hit then?
It is harder to hit, yeah. It's a 4+ and it doesn't have the rend, but it has the extra range, 30-inch range. Oh, actually, no. Yes, that's right. Yeah, they don't have line of sight. They have to use the lofted shots. No rerolls on this one though. I'm just looking for the 5s and 6s. So that's 1, 2.
Yeah, he's dead.
3, 4 mortal wounds.
He's dead. They are such. They are. I'd say they are one of the best units in the game for the cost. Even a small unit can throw out so many mortal wounds.
150. In my match play list, I'm thinking about 2 big units of 20 with wardens in front of them, because I think they're good like that anyway. But then with the Unleash Hell rule, you still, it doesn't matter about the negative to hits. You're only really looking for those 5s and 6s. And
critically, that gives you 2 victory points for killing a unit. That unit also gets additional renown at the end of the game for killing a unit. So if you make a mark on their sheet, they're going to get some bonus experience at the end of the game.
Cools. Okay, so now we're into the movement phase. We're going to keep these guys in the Shining Company, but these guys are going to break their Shining Company.
They're going to break Shining Company. Yep. We've got a question from Grim Dan in the chat, Jay. Are you thinking about going down the Wind Charger route? They seem insane.
Yeah, the Wind Chargers are really cool. I've got 5 of them. I've painted all of the mounts. I'm working on the riders. They're really good with their battalion where they can basically pile out in any combat phase, not the ones they've just charged. I think I will be including either probably 1 unit 5, maybe 2 units 5. Points are a bit tighter now in 3rd edition. I think they're pretty good for like racing ahead and getting objectives. I'm not sure that they do. They're not as manoeuvrable now. They can't take that War Scroll battalion. Having said that, the Wind Spirit Sephiroth, he went up in points a little bit, but he's a hero, so he gets all the heroic actions, and he's still as manoeuvrable as ever.
Does he have the monster keyword too?
He doesn't have the monster keyword, no. He would be like bonkers with that, wouldn't he?
I say it's a shame. I wouldn't want to fight him. Okay, so they're breaking their Shining Company, so they're not -1 to hit anymore.
No, they're not -1 to hit anymore. So these are going to go just to get within 3 inches of you.
Gotta say, Jay, the elves are looking gorgeous on the screen.
Oh, cool, thanks.
Let's get a decent shot of these guys.
Yeah, I've still got quite a lot of work to do on the army as a whole. I've got, I'm approaching 3,000 points now of painted elves, really. And now I'm starting to get through the battle line as well. So next on the list are some blade lords and some more archers. So I've got 20 archers, 20 wardens, and then a unit of blade lords for your free battle line. I've got quite a lot of the Jarlrift stuff painted. I've got a mountain spirit, the mage, and the stone guard painted. But I want to get some of the, like you say, the units you don't tend to see. So I want the banner blade in there. I want the bolt throwers going.
Because it's worth saying, in these match play missions, you don't need to have a certain number of battle line or anything. You're free to use whatever you like. That said, though, we are going to be playing some match play missions as well. We'll be using a variety of different battle packs. So we should see all 3 different flavours while still keeping the Path to Glory system, which I think is a really cool way of doing it.
Yeah. These guys are just going to... This is the problem with Lumineth. 1, they're hard to move around. And 2, they're not very manoeuvrable because they've got to maintain this Shining Company, which it's got quite strict
Yeah, I mean that's
constraints.
quite a big footprint, really, isn't it?
Yeah. So
And
like
what's their movement?
6 inches. Yeah, 6 inches.
So yeah, I mean even with that though, you're a little bit cumbersome, aren't you, if you're keeping that?
Yeah, you have to stay in base contact. So it's not even an inch of each other; it's base contact, and you can't charge. So you have to in advance, and like you may fail your charge, so you just sacrifice Shining Company, and you can't reform it. There are some spells which let you teleport units around, which allow you to set back up again in Shining Company. But once they've lost it now, they don't. So these guys, they can't regain it again now in this game. But really, they want to be charged.
Yeah.
And you want to run away from me at the moment because you've been ambushed. Okay, so that's that then. So I think we're into the charge phase now.
Ooh.
So the Wardens are going to charge in.
The Wardens are charging in. Okay.
6 inches. So we can get these guys in. And this is where we have problems with the big pikes.
Yeah. Now what's the reach? They've got a 3-inch reach on these, haven't they?
This guy at the front, actually, he was at the front, so I'll put him in the middle there because he's only got a 1-inch reach.
Yeah. So you should easily be able to get the unit in. What have you got? 6-inch, 5-inch charge, 6-inch charge. So
6-inch
I mean, really, those guys there have got plenty they can move to get in combat.
I really wish when Games Workshop made these models, they put some of the pikes up.
Yeah, some old fantasy models had, the front line with the pikes down and some at the back with them up. Wouldn't it make it a lot easier to line them up?
Yeah, because this is the pain really. But I think they're all in range there to fight.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're okay.
I think that poor ogre's a pin pushing, but we'll see how he goes.
So they do have the parry. So both of these units have got the parry. I'm not going to use any of my command points at the moment. He's on his heroic finest hour.
Yep, he is.
So I get to choose 2 units to fight with. So I'll choose both units.
Yep, I'm going to use all out defence because otherwise...
Cost you 2 points.
Yep, they've actually got 1 left because elves.
Okay, so we'll do the Lord Regent first. So he's looking for 5 and 6s. So he's done 1 mortal wound.
Yep.
And now he's wounding on 2s now with his finest hour. He rolls 2 1s, so
Ooh.
2 wounds at -1.
2 wound at -1. Okay, so I've got all out defence on him. So he's got 3 plus save, 4 plus save. -1 did you say?
-1 rend,
4 plus save. Rerolling 1s with his gut plate.
Ah, nice one. Yeah.
So yeah, that's good.
That reroll 1s, because Mystic Shield doesn't do that anymore.
No, it doesn't. So you kind of, with all out defence, you kind of get the benefit of both there with his gut plate.
Yeah, you are, yeah.
And that's one of the ogre ones locked to the Meat Fist Maw tribe. And we were talking about this before the battle. Some of those ogre, some of the army command traits aren't always the greatest in the artifacts that you have to take. I'm quite happy with that on my Tyrant to give him a bit more survivability.
Definitely, it's a very rare ability now.
Dodgy Roller has faith that the Tyrant will be okay.
So the Light Courser now gets 3 attacks. Does the Finest Hour apply to his...
So finest hour, let's get
this is a mount.
Add 1 to the wound rolls for attacks made by that hero. So I imagine that will be just the hero themselves and not the mount.
Okay, so 1 got through, and now he's just looking for a 4+ now. So he's wounded, no rend on that.
So 3 plus save, rerolling 1s. Yep, he's fine.
All those bounce, so it wasn't his finest hour. The Wardens then, so these have an ability at the start of the combat phase. I should have done this, but it won't make any difference. So you can pick 1 enemy unit from 1 inch on a 2+, that enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. So this is once per battle. He's carrying it like a little grenade next to him. On a 2+, he rolls a 1. So
of course he does.
Splashed at his feet.
He dropped it on the way in.
So, we'll do the Champion's Blade attacks first. So these are hitting our... Oh, do I use a command ability because he's chosen to attack? +1 to hit. +1 to hit. Yeah, we'll use command ability. All out attack.
All out attack. It doesn't really matter here, but I guess who's it from? So is it from the champion?
It's from
unit?
the champion in the unit. Yeah.
Just because obviously in these small games with a limited number of heroes, it probably will make a difference who issues them because obviously you can't issue more than 1 order per character ordinarily. There might be some exceptions to some special characters.
So he gets 2 attacks with his Champion's Blade, now hitting on 2s. So both hit. These ones don't do mortal wounds. 4s to wound you. 1 wound at -1 rend.
So again, with my all out defense, I've still got a 4+ with reroll 1s. So he takes, is that 1 damage?
Just 1 damage, yeah.
So he is taking 2 damage now. He's got 6 left.
And now we get 18 attacks with the
18 is they get 2 attacks each.
2 attacks each with the spears. The
Oh,
pikes.
crikey.
And these have got the parry on them, so looking for 5s and 6s.
Yeah. Grimdan says he's got this. Let me switch to dice cam because I don't think he does.
I'll make sure I'm not rolling too many dice here. 6, 9, 3, 3, 3. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Lots of ones I'm looking for here. I think he's dead. He's dead. Just on the number of mortal wounds.
Just on the mortal wounds, yeah. There's a lot of mortal wounds coming through there.
Well, you've killed me, Warlord, Jay.
That's 7. That's what you get for trying to defile the grave of my legendary Elven Mage.
So yeah, that was all kinds of brutal there, Jay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of those roll a million dice, and if you get some high numbers, you're just dead. You can do nothing about it.
It seems to be quite a thing now. The Stormcast, they all do that on 6s now.
Not to that extent, no.
They do it on 6s.
Where yeah, on a, with smaller. I guess it's because there's so many of them. I guess.
Yeah,
the volume of dice that you can roll.
I mean, the Unit of 5 Stormcast are rolling 10 dice, aren't they? With that looking,
yeah.
They do 2 attacks each on their spears, yeah. And the Cruel Boys as well have a similar mechanic.
They do with the poison, yeah. So I wonder if that's a trend that we'll see because it just makes it a bit kind of, I don't know, banking on those 6s, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's it. They don't worry about hit modifiers because it's just those mortal wounds that do the damage for them. Well,
with that rockets you into the lead on 4 victory points to 3.
Right, so now it just becomes a job of chasing down those ogres.
Yeah, now I can still win this as long as I can stay away from your elves.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is my turn 2. I've got no heroes to use any heroic abilities on. Jay, what heroic ability are you using?
Heroic Recovery. Which he failed.
Oh, he's obviously a bit tired after his
does he lose a wound?
He should do.
No, he doesn't lose a wound.
Grimdan says, I reckon the mortals will balance out how many +1 to save abilities there are. Maybe. Problem is those mortals will go through the +1 to save. Now, we have got priests, and there's a generic spell which can give any unit a wound shrug. So in theory, every army has got a way of negating those mortal wounds as well. And again, it's a little bit, obviously it's a 600 point battle, so it's a little bit different.
You're limited.
Some armies are balanced at different points levels as well, because you haven't got all the toys. This whole campaign is very much from the point of view of using units that you don't see very much. I know we've got spear elves and archer elves that we see in every elf list, but as we get bigger, we'll have a mix of different units that we can use. And the ogres have got this. They're fine. They are absolutely not scared. So yeah, that's my heroic abilities. You've done your heal and failed. So I haven't got any spells to use. In fact, I have got a heroic ability I can use, haven't I?
You got.
I haven't got a hero. I've got no heroes. I've got 0 heroes.
Of course, yeah.
So I can't use that command point one either, which would have been handy because I've only got 1 command point, and that's essentially useless at the minute.
Heroic leadership, yeah.
So really, what we're going to have to do is keep those ogres alive, just try and get some victory points. Now, unfortunately, every turn they're going to get a volley of archers and then probably take mortal wounds and fall for battle shock. And on this battlefield, you can shoot me wherever I go.
Pretty much.
So, really, what we'll do, we'll keep them running, and then if we can... It's not going to be a very fun game if I spend 3 turns running these around the battlefield.
Well,
so what we're going to try and do is get them over and punch those archers in the back.
I was going to say, if you get the charge on the elves, potentially...
Problem is they're -1 to hit.
They are.
And my ogres are fairly terrible in
combat.
combat.
-1 to hit still, yeah.
I've got no commanded heroes nearby.
Attack, that's +1 to hit.
It is +1 to hit, but they're only hitting on 4s because they're ogres. Oh, they're 3s now, they used to be 4s. So, yeah, I think realistically, I don't want to get them killed. Because they're still doing mortal wounds on 6s, aren't they?
Only on 6s, yeah. They didn't get Parahishaf because they cast Total Eclipse.
So, do I stay on target or do I try and kill some elves? Chat, what do we think? Do we
also
go hunting for elves? Or do we stay on target and try... Because in theory, I could still win this. However, they're going to be able to shoot my unit every turn. And they just need to kill 1 to force a battle shock.
Yeah.
But... I don't think that'd be a fun game, me just running away from Jay for the next 3 turns.
Charge me!
Oh. However, if we can kill the archers, then I can run around the board for a few turns. So, The ogres are going to run.
Okay.
They're hungry because they're not within 3 inches, so the movement 8 at the minute.
Right.
They go another inch.
Can you spend a command
I
point?
can't because it's cost me 2 because of your ability.
Of course, yeah.
So yeah, the ogres aren't having a good day. So they're going to go like there. So yeah, unfortunately, it's just one of those, isn't it? There's no point sticking to scenery because there's the mortal wound that's scupping me. So they're really just going to do that. And that is my turn. Turn 3 was that?
Turn 2, I think.
My turn 2, and I get 1 victory point for that. So we're currently neck and neck.
Okay.
On to turn 3. Roll off. Let's switch the dice cam. Can we at least get the priority? We cannot. Do you want to take the priority or not, Jay?
No, I'll let you take the priority.
You're going to let me take the priority?
Because then my total eclipse stays in effect for much longer.
Exactly, and you get more command points.
Yes.
So you get 2 command points for your second.
Yep.
Plus an additional command point for your general still being alive.
Yeah, and you lose the ones you had left over, don't you?
You do, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
My general is dead, so I don't get a command point there. And you're making me go first, so I get 1. So essentially, I can't use any command abilities this turn.
Let me just check. Does it, if successfully cast, your opponent must spend 2 command points to use command ability instead of 1.
Yeah, so you can't
Until your next hero phase.
until my next hero phase.
Yeah, so I can't use any command abilities this turn. That's a shame. I can't use any heroic actions because I've got no heroes. Jay using a heroic action.
I'm going to try and recover. He does this time. He's just got 1 wound, so he's okay.
What to do here? So, you know what? They're going to keep running because I get another command. I don't get another victory point if they survive this turn.
Yeah.
So they're going to run again. Still pathetic running. I can't use a command ability because I can't because they're costing me 2. So unfortunately, there's not a lot the ogres can do here apart from run.
They are getting closer to the archers, though.
They are getting close to the archers. They are. So, end of my turn. I don't get those points yet because you could potentially kill them within your turn.
Right.
So it is your turn 3.
Okay. I may as well go for heroic leadership. So on a 4+. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? On a 4+. Yeah.
It's on a 6+, isn't it?
I thought it was 4. A tutor of your general has been slain. On a 4+.
Yes, it
you
is 4+,
receive a command
yeah.
point. So it's a command point. These are 3 command. There we go.
So you've got 4 command points.
4 command points.
I've got a command point, but can't do anything with it. Because that's dropped off now, so I can.
That's gone, and that's gone. Okay, yes, total eclipse is finished now, unless I manage to cast it again. Right.
That is a brutal spell.
It's a good one, isn't it, that one? They've got loads of cool stuff like that. Which, like I say, there's one, Scurrying Gale or something it's called, which is a wind one, which you target a unit and they cannot use or benefit from primarily.
And obviously this is just given to your units as well. Now, again, like I say, in Path to Glory, these don't count as wizards, so I imagine the intent will be that all you... Because the wizard requirement's there to limit the amount of spells you can cast, and obviously across your entire army you can take a load of spells.
Yeah. So we'll go for Greater Parahish again on the Lord Regent, which is a good one to start with, I think. Cast on a 7, he gets +1 to cast it. It's gone off on a 11. There's not a miscast, is it? No, the one's a miscast. So he can choose D3 units, 1 unit. He'll put it onto the... Hold on, 18. He'll put it on the... He'll put it on... himself.
Himself, okay.
The Sentinels will try and cast Parahish on themselves. Goes off on a 5. Yep. So they are charged up. And this is a spell you can cast multiple times, the Parahish.
Is it?
The Warden's Lambent Light. That's the one I want here. 18 inches. Yep. Oh no, actually from the wizard. Where is he? There.
It's wholly within.
Is it wholly within? Only within 18 inches now, so he's okay. So they're going to try and cast Lambent Light, which goes off on a 5.
Oh, he's
Double one.
miscast.
So that the wizard, and that is the caster, takes D3 mortal wounds.
Hold on. I might use some for cause. Yes, so after it has attempted to cast a spell, you can either add 1 or re-roll. So they will use their for course
To re-roll.
but they are now -1 bravery. Try and roll a double 1 again. No, 6, that's okay. So these guys here have got the lambent light on them.
So that goes off on a 6, does it?
Goes off on a 5. Lambent light, casting value of 5.
Okay.
And that leaves these guys here who have got Total Eclipse. But they're going to cast Parahish as well. Which goes off on a 10. Run out of Parahish. Parahish down there. Okay, so that's all my hero phase stuff done. Movement. We're going to break Shining Company and move these guys up. 6 inches.
Take the guys with the massive spears through the really awkward route through the woods.
I don't want to. It's probably not that far. I don't want to. Yeah, it's okay. They're gonna have to come around the front. Yeah. Come around the front.
So has anyone in the chat started putting together a Path to Glory force? Obviously, it's quite a different way of playing than match play, and yeah, looking forward to trying out some different forces.
I'm looking forward to getting the dwarfs.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't bring the dwarfs today against the ogres.
It's because I've been working so much on the Lumineth. I've not really had many games with them, so I've been really looking forward to playing with the Lumineth elves. So.
And they do look really cool.
14-inch move on this guy. He's pretty fast. He's coming in as well. And then we'll form up the these elves. Not so important now about staying. Of course, they still have to maintain coherency, but they don't really have to worry too much about the Shining Company anymore.
Pesky elves, eh? I hope you haven't killed my general. Obviously, we're going to do the injury roll.
Yeah. Right, shooting them. Sentinels. They're going to have to do their lofted shot because you've not got line of sight. They're in range now, so they get 9 shots. Looking for 4s. I'm going to use a. They're going to issue a command. All out attack, +1 to hit. So now hitting on 3s.
Yep, so that's the champion of the unit issuing, is there?
Yep. The High Sentinel. So now hitting on 3s. Oof. So they've done 2 mortal wounds. Okay. But then they missed with a lot of shots.
Ooh.
They're now wounding on. So that was. Yeah, it was 4+ normally, but 3+ with the all-out attack, and then it's 4+ to wound. So just 1 wound, no rend on that.
1 wound with no rend on the ogres. So they've only got a 5+ save. Nope. So that's 3 wounds taken. So 1 ogre's got 1 wound left. We'll put it on that guy at the back there.
Okay. And then we'll go to the charge phase. So we'll go in with the.
Do you cast Power of Heesh?
Yeah, he's got Parahish.
No, sorry, Power of Heesh. The one that makes me.
Total Eclipse, no. We didn't
You
cast
didn't?
it.
Okay, cool.
No, they cast Parahish instead. Lord Regent. Oh, double 1! He's going to have to use a command point. Can you do that in the charge phase?
You can do it.
It's what's it called?
It's called.
Forward to Victory. So he will do that. Because that was embarrassing for him. Come on, Lord Feanor. That's better. And he's going to block the pass. You shall not pass. And then the Wardens are going in as well. They've got 9, so they're in. And this is the other cool thing about Lumineth. It's always a good idea to charge 2 units in if you can, because you get to activate those 2 units first.
Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, I think the Ogres are in for a bit of a tough one here, but we'll see how they get on.
He will try and break his flask on a 2+.
Is that in the charge phase? Sorry?
It's at the start of the combat phase.
So
sorry,
all out defence.
All out defence, yeah. I rolled a 1 again.
You rolled 1.
So both flasks have just been dropped at the feet. And obviously I'll be activating both of those units. So we'll do the Lord Regent first. Do I do... Oh, no, he's not going to do any command ability. Oh, actually, yeah, he will. He will. So, hold on, I haven't issued any command abilities this phase. So he will issue all-out attack.
Yeah.
And then using the Iliatha command ability, Iliatha ability, they can pick another Venari.
Is that a command ability? Or?
No, this is just their like nation. So like you get the extra charge thing. These get this one. So they pick another, and it's only Venari unit. So it's only the.
That's very good.
Standard army, yeah. So that unit can also benefit from it.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like Iliatha. One of the other things I like about Iliatha as well is the in the last errata they changed a lot of the keywords on a lot of the characters, and the twins now have the Iliatha keyword as well rather than the Metrica one, and I really like the twins. I think they're going in my match playlist. Okay, so 5 attacks with the Lord Regent. He's hitting on 2s anyway, so he's done 2 mortal wounds.
Yep.
And then 2 hits have got through.
So hang on. Oops, sorry, I've knocked you guys.
Oh, he wasn't glued on. He was.
Okay.
And then freeze to wound. I think. Yep, freeze. So 1 wound at -1.
So I got all out defence on this. So it's a 5+. On a 6, you take a mortal wound.
Oh, nice.
There's a mortal wound.
Ouch. Okay. And then it's the Light Courser's attacks. So he doesn't get the all-out attack bonus. So he's hitting on 3s anyway. So he's hit 3 times and he's wounded on 4s. Just 2 wounds, no rend on that one.
So 4+, again 6 will do mortal wounds to you. Yep, save them both.
Okay. Then it is the Warden's turn. So we'll do the Champion's Blade first. So he's now hitting on a 2. 2 hits, wounds in on a 4. 2 wounds at -1 rend.
So 5+, with 6 to do mortal wounds back. You take a mortal wound.
On the Wardens. Okay. So that is it's 16 attacks now back with those guys.
Now I could do with bouncing back all these as mortal wounds with a fist, and then that might even the battle a little bit.
Whoops. No, pick that up in a minute. Okay. So 16 attacks. So these are hitting on hitting on 2s now. But we're looking for mortal wounds first. So 1, 2, 3, 4 mortal wounds.
Yep, that's another dead ogre.
And then hitting on. There's not many hits got through though. Wounding on 4s, I think, when they don't charge. Yep, 4s. Only 2 wounds and no rend on that.
2 wounds, no rend, so 4+s with 6 are bouncing back to you. So no, another dead ogre. We'll have to take... You know what, I've completely forgotten about my banners as well during this as well. Reroll charge rolls and add 1 to bravery. And the lookout nobbler would ignore any wounds from missile weapons. Ah, wow, it's too late now, isn't it?
Oh,
so we'll keep the lookout nobbler. Come on, come on. So 3 dead ogres, that isn't good. That isn't good. But that's all your guys fought now, isn't it?
Everything fought down there.
So we'll pile these guys in.
Now what's interesting here is, and I'm going to wait for an FAQ to clarify this, because an extra strength for this Iliatha one is when you've got 2 units working in tandem, you can benefit from 2 command abilities potentially, because the unit champion from one unit issues a command that affects both units, and then the unit champion from the other unit issues another command that affects both units. But I'm going to wait and see what this FAQ says.
If they get the effect of a command ability...
Of course, yeah, you can't be affected by twice.
Command ability on them, so they can't.
Yeah.
So, Ogre's probably only going to do this, but let's try and thin some numbers, eh? The guy's -1 to hit, so there's no point me trying to hit him.
Yeah, they're not -1 to hit anymore.
So let's hit the Lumineth in front of them. We've got the champion in there as well who gets an extra attack. So these will be hitting on 3s on the elves.
Okay.
Which isn't bad, to be fair. We don't have anything that hits on 6s, do we? They are going to be wounding on 3s as well.
Some metal clubs.
Yeah. A few 1s there, but that is 6, no rend.
No rend, so these just have a 4+ save. So that's 1, 2.
That is 4 damage.
That's another 4 elves dead.
And then they get to bite you. On 3s. They've all hit. And again, wounding on 3s. 2, but no rend. They're only ogres.
No rend, 4+. So 1 got through.
And that is 1 damage.
1 damage. Another dead elf. There you go, that's almost a unit dead there.
And that is all the ogres can do there, I'm afraid. So battle shock. I'm eating. So I'm bravery 8. I've lost 3 models. So on a 6, the unit's gone. You lose a model even.
One's off, yeah.
So bravery for them. They're fine, just. Your guys have lost quite a lot of models.
Yeah, they're -1 bravery anyway.
And then another -1 bravery from the Bellower as well.
So they're -2 bravery, which counteracts the +2 bravery they get for being at the Ather. So they would be running now. So I'll use my Triumph Indomitable, or what was it? Indomitable, to keep them in the fight.
Yep, so they're still in the fight. So at the end of that battle round, I get a point because the ogre's still alive.
Yep.
Putting us on 5-4 going into the 4th battle round. I don't know how long these ogres are going to last though, unfortunately. And I believe I can't bring them back as well because I'm within 3 inches of you.
Ah, yeah, that rally, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think there's a lot I can do here.
Well, I mean, if I fail to kill you, you win the game.
If you fail to kill me, I win the game. You could still draw.
Still draw.
Yeah. Because you get 2 points if you kill me.
Oh, okay, 2 points if I kill you, right.
So, let me just check that. Rally. Yeah, have to be within 3 inches of enemy units to rally. So
outside of 3 inches. Yeah.
So I've rolled a 2. You've rolled a 3. Do you want to go first or second?
I shall take this turn to try and thin those.
So I get just 2 because my general's not alive.
There you go. I get 1 and 1 for my general. Is that right?
1 and 1 for your general. Yeah, because he's alive and on the table. Dodgy roller says it's getting close. Lucas says run away, the archers ignore terrain. Problem is, on this small battlefield, Jay is in range wherever I run.
What's the length of the table here?
It's 44 inches.
44 inches, so basically you'd have to be right in the corner to get away from
I could do that, but that wouldn't be a very fun game, so I thought...
So put some Benny Hill music on.
Yeah, exactly. So, we will see. To be fair, points-wise, it's still fairly close.
It is, yeah.
This is quite a good one, because even though it seems like, it's a no-brainer, the ambush is going to win, you can in those early turns. I think if you'd have killed the man-eaters earlier, then it would have been over. But if you can start racking up a couple of points for your units,
well, you can see lots of different ways. Like blunting an attack like that gives you an extra turn to get the extra point.
Yeah.
Rallying would have brought that unit back on another turn. Yeah. Maybe not even killed them. So there are ways to stay in the game as a defender in this one.
Yeah.
And like I say, you're not out of it yet. I mean, these only kill 3. They only killed 3 ogres when they were full strength, and there's now only 4 elves left.
That's it.
So, hero phase then, we're going to do a heroic recovery. No. Yeah, heroic recovery. So he gets his wound back. I love that, that's so cool.
It's really good ability, isn't it?
Your characters just feel so much more survivable now.
Mm.
And you get to use them, like here, the lower fit, I mean, it's way better, that is. Magic then, we're going to cast Greatest Power Heesh on the Lord Regent. It goes off on a 7 with his +1. He chooses D3 units. 3 units. I think it's wholly within 18 inches, so I think he can get himself, that unit of spears, and that unit of archers. All have the Greater Power Heesh on them now.
It's really, really strong ability, that. Especially on this small table.
Power Heesh. Yeah, so Power Heesh on himself. Power Heesh.
Right, I apologise, I haven't updated the scores on here. Let me just update those. We are currently on 5 to the Ogres, and we are on 4 to the Elves. You on? You are on.
Yeah, just killed 2
4.
units, haven't I?
Let me update this. 5-4 to the Ogres. You kill these out, I mean, you kill these, you've won the game.
Let's do it, let's kill them. We're going to cast Lambent Light from that unit on the Ogres. So it goes off on a 7. It's a casting value of 5, so they have Lambent Light on them. This unit here are going to cast Protection of Heesh. Oh, it's with 9 inches again. No, so they can't do that. So they're not going to cast any spell. This unit here then are going to cast Total Eclipse or Paraheesh. They'll cast Paraheesh on themselves.
Double 1 again.
Oh, they've got no way for course this time.
D3 mortal wounds.
1 more wound.
That kills the caster.
It kills the wizard. The wizard is dead.
Ooh. You've rolled a lot of these.
Look, I like armies that use lots of magic spells, and I like armies that use lots of psychic powers, but I'm rubbish at rolling spells and psychic powers. Watch the Sylvaneth battle report from a couple of weeks ago. How many times did I fail to cast a spell?
Yeah.
Even with the, I had the artifact that let me roll 3 dice,
Still,
and I'm
you
sure
still
she
failed.
still failed to cast for the first 2 turns.
Yeah, you must have caught Dave's dice rolling.
I think so.
Okay, well that takes out the leader.
Yeah. So there's no commands being issued from that champion anymore.
No, there's not. And no magic from that unit either.
No magic from that unit, no. In fact, actually, they couldn't cast a spell anyway. They failed to be a wizard at, so I couldn't. It wouldn't have been a miscast. I'll still use them as a casualty, but looking back, you have to have at least 5 models in the unit.
Right.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, while this unit has 5 or more models, so you wouldn't have been able to actually attempt that
Yeah,
spell.
so something to remember for next time. Potentially, it would have been worth trying to do some impact hits to make them not be a wizard.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that then. So shooting then. So the Sentinels are going to fire into the Ogres.
Yep.
So it's 9 shots. They can re-roll these hits. And they have the Paraheesh on them. So looking for 5s and 6s. Not many, just 2, 3. 3 mortal wounds.
3 mortal wounds, that's almost a dead ogre.
And I'll roll these. 4 mortal wounds.
That's a dead ogre.
And out of the other one's only 1 hit.
Oh no, they've got lookout noblesse.
Okay.
So how many do they? 4?
4 mortal wounds and
Each
1
6
hit.
plus, I ignore.
Oh!
So ignore 2 of them. So they're still taking 2 mortal wounds and the 1 hit, and then let's see the wording for this. Yeah, once you wound. So that wounded.
That's a wound, yeah.
They roll a save, no rend on that?
No rend on that, no.
So 5 plus save, which they make.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I think I could have saved a few of them earlier in the game, but it's one of those.
So what's that? He just gives you a 6+ shrug against
6
ranged attacks.
Specifically ranged attacks, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so...
Dodging and weaving as these arrows are flying over the building.
Right, so movement phase then. These guys are going to move 6 inches.
So I'm moving them. Lucas says, I'm trying, but 600 points, you can't get much with Slaanesh. I'm like 100 points under, because I don't have anything I can put in it. You can start with 1 endless spell, Lucas. Maybe whack one of those in. And the first couple of games are going to be, there might be a little bit imbalanced, but this isn't a match play, super competitive game. I think the idea is more to tell a story and have a bit of fun with it. After your first game, you'll be able to add quite a few points to your roster. So even if you're down on that first one, it doesn't matter too much. I'd spend those extra 100 points on an endless spell, then you've got it in your vault for later.
Yeah, I think if I was doing like a Slaanesh Path to Glory, I'd start out with the mortal, the light cavalry and the light mortals, like a vanguard force. And then as the Path to Glory campaign keeps going, they get reinforced with, maybe some big Slaanesh champions sort of, they're achieving something over there. We'll join that, and the warband's just growing. Then demons come in.
I think the way the thing to keep in mind is your first few games might be a little bit rough. Like the Ogres had a bit of a batter in this one, but after this battle, potentially I'll be able to add a few more units. Now, hopefully the general doesn't die, so I don't have to spend those points on him. But if not, I could potentially, even if losing the game, I could add a Slaughtermaster and some Mournfang to the army. And then in the next game, I've got a bigger roster to choose from. So, yeah, bear that in mind with your starting force. You don't necessarily need to have a tournament legal force. Have something fun. Take some different units you don't normally take.
Right, so we're going to go for a charge with the Spear Elves.
A charge with the Spear
I
Elves.
don't know what they need actually. They need a lot.
That's a long charge.
So they need a 9 to get in there. Oh, I will use a...
You use the command point to re-roll that long charge.
Yeah. For it's a victory.
10
Paid off.
inches.
Paid off.
Jeez.
So 10 inches gets this elf over here. But I've got to be careful here about my
Well,
currency.
you're potentially going to break coherency here.
And I need to make sure my units... So they need to be in...
Each model needs to be within an inch of 2 models, which you might not be able to do with that tree being there.
No, but I can pile in as well, can't I?
You can.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we may lose a few elves here. For the cause!
Jeez.
Nice one bravery on them. 10 inches. Yeah, okay. The good thing is they've got the range to fight, so...
Poor ogres. What have they ever done to you? Apart from, like, dig up a wizard and turn him into a cloak.
Yeah, well, that's it. Okay, so what we will do in the combat phase is we will use all-out attack.
Yeah, and I'm obviously using all-out defence.
And it will be issued from him, and then it will also be issued to that unit there.
The back unit.
The big unit, yeah. And they are the 2 units that I will attack with first.
Okay.
They have the power heesh on them yet, and -1 bravery. So we will pile in first with this guy.
Yep.
And the piling rules have changed now as well.
They have. So you don't, as long as you're no further away from the closest enemy model, you can still pile in.
No, it's to the closest unit.
So yeah, it's to the closest unit, so you can still go round models now.
Yeah.
Now obviously you can't go off the board edge.
No. I just need to make a little bit of room there for him. Okay. And he will attack. So he gets 5 attacks with his Regent's Sword.
And yeah, I've used all out defence on these guys. Hopefully that's mortal wounds back to him.
So he's done 2 mortal wounds.
Yep, that's a dead ogre.
And need freeze for this. So 1 at -1 rend.
1 at -1 rend, so 5+ with all out defence. He makes.
And then it's the Light Courser, who is just hitting on his normal profile. So freeze. 2 hits and 4s. So just 1 wound with no rend from the...
So 4+. Nope. That's a wound. So we've got a dead ogre. See. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? We'll take him. Because I'll be able to pile into that gap.
Okay. And the new unit. So those 3 elves there are the ones that were stuck there. So now I need to do some clever piling in to try and get... So which way around was the best way to go? So I think if these guys come in like this...
Yeah, I think you're going to lose a few here, but hopefully you're alright. Poor ogres.
And it's odd that you have to point the pikes away.
Is there much posability on the spears, or
No.
are they all in the same?
No. Yeah,
I think you're going to lose half the unit here, Jay.
I think those 3 there are going to disappear, and
But then
potentially
that guy's not within an inch of 2 as
potentially
well.
him as well.
Basically, that chain will go down to 5 models unless you can get them all within range of 2 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, Jay, you probably killed the ogres and won the game anyway.
Yeah. So at this point, it's just make sure I get enough attacks in then. So okay, so he's out of range, the champion's out of range, but everyone else is. So it's going to be 8. No, champion 1. Yeah, 8 attacks rather than 16 attacks. You get 2 each. There's only 8 of them that are in range.
Whew, they get a lot of attacks. They get a lot of attacks compared to the much more expensive ogre unit.
How much is that ogre unit?
Like 260 points.
260.
Off the top of my head, something like that. They're a lot of points.
So we've done 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7
Yep,
mortal
the unit's
wounds.
dead.
Ooh.
So, yeah, a bit of a bloodbath, I'm afraid, there, guys. The entire ogre army has been wiped out.
But there was only a point in it.
No, because you got 2 more points there.
So what's the score?
So it's 7 points to you, 4 points to me.
Oh right, sorry, I thought you were.
But you've wiped out the entire. So there's the potential that you could kill all my guys as well. Now you've had no casualties.
No battle shock.
They've not lost any models this turn, have they?
But they will lose models now.
Oh, these guys. So they'll go down to 5, and then you've still got a full unit. So for the purposes of casualties, the unit's still. It's only when a unit's wiped out there's a chance that they die in Path to Glory.
Right. So 5 have gone. So I took a battle shock test for them.
But you could auto pass it with your with a command ability. Couldn't
No
you?
command abilities left.
Oh, okay. So you could lose some models there.
So their bravery -1 +2. So their bravery is 7,
Okay.
and they've lost 5. So a 3+, we'll see models running off. 2, they're okay.
They're fine. So that was a brutal game. Now, like I said earlier, that is a little bit skewed. We're starting out with the 600 points. So the first couple of games, especially for those older books, might be a little brutal, especially when you're playing against the Lumineth, who are arguably one of the stronger armies at the minute. So what we need to do now is the kind of end to game stuff. So if we're playing the game, both of us get 5 glory. Brilliant. That puts me on a total of 10 glory. Jay, that puts you on 10 glory as well.
Yep.
You got the most victory points, so you get an additional 3 glory, putting you on 13 glory, and your warlord is still alive and on the table, so you get another glory, giving you a grand total of 14 glory to my 10. That's not bad. We're both able to get some stuff with that. Next we go into the injuries. Now this is where it could all go
This is
very,
the fun
very
bit.
wrong. If I get to the right page, 315 in the main book, and we'll get a camera on this so we can all play along at home. So let me get this down here. So, hopefully you can see that, guys, if it focuses. It's just about focused. So this is the injury table. So your heroes, you roll on this injury table to see what happens to them.
You should let me roll on this as soon as I was on
So yeah, I mean, strictly speaking, so yeah, heroes and models with a wounds characteristic of 8 or more that are noted as being single. So this will be all your big monsters, all your heroes, all that kind of stuff. So what we'll do is roll to see what happens to them. There's some good stuff. If we roll a 666, they get 2d6 renown.
Oh, right, nice.
There's some bad stuff. If I roll a 2 or a 3, they are dead. Most of the results mean that he'll start his next game injured, which means he starts with some wounds in his profile, which I much prefer compared to the -1 ballistic skill, -1 weapon skill, all that kind of stuff from Crusade.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens to Jarlrift Giant Breaker, my tyrants. Let's switch over to the dice cam. Oop, 1 without the tray. That's not good though. There's a 1 in the tray. Oh, it's so far. So, what does that mean? We've rolled a 6, which is a major injury. So, at the start of the next battle, if he's included, he begins the battle with 1 wound allocated that cannot be negated or healed. So, he has basically got a permanent wound on him. What's that called? That is a major injury. That could have been a lot worse, guys. He could have been he could have been killed, and then I'd have to pay the points to replace him. So that's what happens on your heroes and your kind of monsters. For your other units, you instead take a casualty roll. So you roll a dice for each model that is in the unit. Each one removes a model from that unit for the rest of the game.
Right.
Which again is different to how it works in Crusade. So we'll do the man-eaters first. Each one means a man-eater's dead. And again, potentially this could mean the unit's wiped out as well if they roll really badly. They're fine. They're fine. They live to fight another day. And the ogre gluttons again, 6 of them.
Wow,
Each
so
one.
for big units then,
you could potentially lose. Well, arguably on the small units, it's the same logic as the other one. Donut ones. So 1 has died. So I've now only got a unit of 5 ogre gluttons. Now I can use glory to re-roll that. I think it costs me 1 glory point to re-roll. Yeah, I can choose to spend 1 glory to re-roll a dice in that casualty roll. At the minute, it's not the end of the world. I have got 10 glory to spend. I could do with spending some of that glory to achieve some of my quests, but can I afford to already this early in the game have a reduced unit, I am going to use a point of glory. So I'm down to 9 glory, and I'm going to re-roll one of those dice. Do roll another one. It's another one.
Oh, no.
So I spent a glory, and he is...
he had a glorious death.
He had a glorious death. So yeah, so the Ogre Gluttons are down to 5 men. Ouch. You've got no injuries because all your units survived battle, Jay. We then move on to Renown. So every unit that took part in the battle gets 1. Now, does that include units that are dead? Each surviving unit. So all your guys get 1 glory, Jay.
Okay.
Not going good for the Ogres dodgy roll there. Definitely not. So, yeah, all the units that took part in the battle get +1 glory. A favoured unit gets D6 renown.
D6 renown. So they've all got 1 renown already.
So they've all got 1 renown already. However, the units that killed a unit get an additional renown.
So the Sentinels killed a unit.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't. He didn't kill anything.
He didn't. I think it was the block of elves down here, wasn't it?
It was a big block of elves at the back. Yeah, the ones with lambent light. So it's the lambent light.
So they get an extra renown, and then you can pick a unit that gets D6 renown. Now at this point in the battle, currently your general won't gain anything else from renown. Now it could be that in future supplements they add additional things that they can spend it on. Really what you want to probably do is get one of your units up to one of these brackets. If you can get them up to 5 renown, they become a veteran warrior and they gain an ability.
So we'll do it on the Caranthes Wardens then. So they get D6.
They get D6 renown, yeah.
Another 3
so
renown.
3 renown, so what's that? Put them on 5 renown.
Puts them on 5 renown.
So that makes them just veteran warriors. So they get a veteran ability.
Oh wow.
So the veteran ability they can choose from, they can be exemplars of valour. Make sure this is on the camera. The unit can use the ability once per battle at the battle shock phase. Do not take battle shocks for friendly units within 9 inches of them.
Oh wow.
Wholly within 9 inches. They can have discipline battle drill once per battle. Add 1 to wound rolls. Fleet of foot. They can attempt to charge even if they ran once per battle. Deadly volley. Add 1 to wound rolls when you're shooting. Defensive formation. Subtract 1 from wound rolls that target them. And devastating charge, they do D3 mortal wound impact hits on the charge. All those are once per battle.
I like the -1 to wound them.
-1 to wound them. So that is defensive formation. And they can use that once per battle.
Very cool.
So like Crusade, there's a little bit of bookkeeping, but I think less so. With them being more kind of, you can use this once, it's really like a super command ability, isn't it?
Yeah, like a triumph.
Which makes, it kind of reduces the bookkeeping, and I quite like that.
You could make little tokens for them.
You could.
Little cards.
Now, based on the size of the battle, so say if Jay suddenly got a load of glory and built a massive force, and I've got quite a small one with a low glory count, there is a system in place that limits the amount of those veteran abilities you can use, which is a good balancing mechanic as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. Obviously, I don't get any for my surviving units, but I can still pick one to get the D6 MVP one, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put them on my man-eaters. 3 glory on the man-eaters. So not enough to level up, but they've got a start, haven't they? So once we've done that, we then work out what quests we've done. So Jay, you easily completed your quest.
I did.
So you get the spell you were looking for, which is
Ethereal Blessing.
So that goes into your vault, which you can then give to wizards in future games. You then immediately get to pick a new quest.
Ah, interesting.
So the quest that we've got.
So we've calmed the spirit of this elvish wizard. Lord Feanor, kneeling down in front of his grave, has received the wisdom from beyond the grave.
Yeah, so you can pick a quest. So these are basically all around adding extra things to your vault, extra glory, that kind of stuff. So the quest we can do is search for an artifact. You specify an artifact that you want to find, and then you have to get enemy units into enemy territory at the end of the game to unlock that. You can form a battalion. So obviously if you want to include new battalions, you've got to get your army trained to fight together as a fighting force. So you include those units in a number of games and you unlock a battalion. Probably useful once we've got bigger armies, to be honest. Hunt an endless spell. So you pick an endless spell you want to hunt down. You have to end the game within a terrain piece. And then basically, say you enter the game within this woods, you're searching for the endless spell within the woods.
Yep.
You still have to pay the points for it, but that's the only way you can add your endless spells into the army. Master Magical Law is what you've just done.
Yep.
We've got Seek a Defiant Blessing is essentially the same, but for priests' prayers.
Okay.
You've got Learn Arcane Scriptures. This one
the invocations
is for learning a new prayer.
Okay. Yep.
The other one is the Invocation. Yeah, so Invocation and Prayer, same as the Endless Spell and spell. You've then got Defend Your Realm. This is how you gain extra glory. You've got to end the battle with 3 units wholly within your territory.
Okay.
If you can do that, you get 10 glory, which obviously that's a big boost on getting your glory count up.
Yep.
And then finally, Scout Fertile Lands. You have to end the game with units kind of on the edge of the battlefield, and you get to make 2 exploration rolls for your territory in the next battle.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So there's lots of options, and I imagine these will get expanded in Path to Glory supplements and in battle tomes as well. There'll probably be quite a few themed around your army trying to do things as well.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think then we've managed to see off the ogre ambush into our territory. So I think it's worth consolidating the territory now. So Lord Feanor's going back to his keep. We need to build some outposts, some defensive structures. So we're going to go for the scouting, search for fertile land.
Search for fertile land.
We're going to look for some defensive points we can sort of reinforce going forward.
So that goes on your order of battle as the next thing you want to do. You can choose to drop those at any time. Really, the way it works, in theory, you should be able to achieve one each battle, once every couple of battles.
Yeah.
Because most of these you can spend glory to achieve them as well.
Yeah.
So obviously my army died. I don't have any models on the battlefield. However, I'm going to spend 3 glory here to get the 3 points I need to achieve that.
It was the wizard flesh apron.
Yeah, exactly. The wizard flesh apron. So once the battle had finished and everyone's gone off.
Some nobblers were.
Yeah, the nobblers were crawling through and actually ripped the wizard flesh apron out of the grave.
They waited for Lord Feanor to go.
That's it. He's brutal. He saw what he can do. Now, obviously, that costs me 3 glory. So that's an expensive way of getting your kind of quest, since that's an important resource. But I really want that because it lets me cast additional spells, which we'll see in a little bit. It's something that is the next thing I want to add to my army, really. So we've done our quests. Now we go on to upgrading our stronghold. Now at the minute, we've not really got much in the way of glory, really, to upgrade our strongholds. Now, it costs you 30 glory to upgrade it to an imposing stronghold, which gives you more bonuses. You can add barracks, which let you have a bigger roster. At the minute, both of us can only have a maximum of 6 units within our order of battle. Each barracks that you purchase, which costs 5 glory, increases that cap by 2. But with the smallest level of stronghold, we can only do that 3 times. Equally, with the smallest level of stronghold, we can only have 3 territories as well. Yep. So if you are quite lucky with your scouting mission next time, you might then want to start focusing on getting that stronghold up to the next size so you can have more territories around it. So I'm not upgrading my barracks. I guess you're not as well, because we don't really need it at the moment. We then manage our territories. So here we can upgrade our territories that we've got or scout for new ones. So we both roll on this. There's a D66 chart. So I'll do mine first because I haven't got enough glory to buy one, but we'll see what I found. Let's have a look at what I could have won. So blue is going to be the first digit.
An ogre graveyard.
Is 11. 1 on 1. So 11 would be a barren waste. Your scouts find nothing but inhospitable wasteland. The territory cannot be controlled. The ogres have had a really bad battle. Yeah. They're limping off the battlefield and they find nothing. The elves, are they going to be any luckier? So you need the first digit.
First digit is a 6.
Ooh.
Second digit is a 4.
So that would be a special territory. So when the new battle tomes are out, they will have some uber amazing territories that you can pick from if you roll that result. As that's not out yet, you can pick any territory on that list.
Oh.
So you've got the Old Keep, which increases your heroes limit, Wild Lands, that increases your monster limit, the Forgotten Mine, which increases your war machine limit, the Arcane Waypoint, that increases your wizard limit, Sacred Site increases priests, Small Settlement lets you have more reinforced units in your army, Ancient Roads let you have more allied units in your army, the Borderlands In step 3 of the aftermath sequence, you can pick one unit on your order of battle that was not included in the battle and roll the dice on a 4 plus the gain 1 renown. So essentially you can have your units not in the battle gaining experience, which is pretty cool. The Wellspring, you can pick one unit to benefit in the aftermath sequence. When making a recuperating roll for the unit, it's treated as not having taken part in the battle. So we saw one of my units lost a model. You can spend glory to try and get those models back. Now, it's not worth it for me at the minute. But obviously, if it was a big unit that had lost loads of models, and obviously this is cumulative across battles, that gives you more of a chance of getting models back to it.
Yeah.
A large settlement reduces the glory of adding a unit that is not a hero to your order of battle by 1. So that makes it cheaper to add new non-hero units to your army, which is really good.
Is that seems like one that scales quite. Is that every unit or just the next unit?
You've got that in your territory. So this is why obviously you can just toss you 10 glory to buy this, whichever one you pick, and that's the advantage of you rolling high on the chart because you can pick what it is.
Yeah.
You've got the Realmstone Reserve, so you receive D3 additional glory points at the end of a battle.
Okay.
So again, extra glory coming through. You've got the Ruins of Myth. It's said that a powerful treasure rests in this ancient and haunted place. It has no effect until it's upgraded. So essentially it's going to cost you 25 glory until you get a benefit of it. However, after every battle you roll a dice. On a 1 to 5 nothing happens. On a 6 you get a bonus artifact and this is removed from your roster.
Wow.
Costs a lot of glory, but that's an extra artifact that you could potentially have.
Yeah.
So, A, are you going to spend 10 glory to buy one of these? And B, if you are, which one do you want? You have got, what did we say?
14 glory currently.
14 glory. So you could potentially buy... So 14 glory, if you're adding a new unit, you can have a unit up to the price of 150 points added to your army for 4 glory, and then spend the additional 10 on a territory. If you want, you could bank all the glory and not have anything. You've got a bit of an advantage here. If you want to, pick a good one. For example, the one that reduces the cost of adding units to your roster, then adding a 200 points unit to your army, it only costs 4 rather than 5.
Yeah. See, what I was thinking was the guys are coming back to their fortress now, well, their little stronghold, and I think maybe like the medics would be coming out and trying. And I thought a wellspring might be quite thematic,
Okay.
So they can, the soldiers are going to be out patrolling a lot during the course of this campaign. They're going to need that.
And that gives you some insurance in case your big units die in future battles as well. That will cost you 10 glory to get that added to your roster though.
The Wellspring, yeah. So what does the Wellspring do? It lets me re-roll the
So it lets you re-roll the recuperate roll. So a recuperate roll, you pay a cost in order to recuperate a unit. So say for example your unit of Sentinels gets really unlucky, they get wiped out in the battle and roll 7 ones and lose 7 models, you've got 3 left. How many points do they spend? They cost
150.
So for 2 glory, you could try and recuperate them. You roll a number of dice equal to the number of models that you've lost, and each 4 plus you get 1 back.
Oh, okay.
If they've not taken part in the battle, that becomes a 2 plus. The Wellspring means that whenever you do that for the first unit, on a 2 plus the models come back.
Right. Yeah, I think I will purchase the Wellspring now.
The Wellspring, so that costs you 10 glory, so a big outlay. And that's 2 of the 3 settlements you can now have, including your Startane Arcane. Alternatively, if you didn't do that, you could choose to maybe upgrade the Arcane waypoint. But you get so many glory during battles, and that scales up on the size of the battle as well.
You've got to spend it.
So you've got that. So that means that really, even if you lose a unit, you're probably not going to be limited with, because that would affect you massively if you lost a load of models. And it's unlikely, but it can happen. We've seen shocking rolls with the Ogors.
Yeah. Cool.
So we can now manage our order of battle. So you can recuperate units. For me, it's really not worth spending the glory to try and... For the re-roll, because what are the odds of rolling 2 ones on a roll? Obviously I got it. Once you've started losing models, you're better off recuperating them. For 1 model lost, I'm not going to do it. As Andy points out in the chat as well, I don't have to worry about coherency anymore with them either, because I've got 5 models rather than 6.
So I thought you worked out
So arguably they work out a little bit better. We can also add new units as well. So I've not got much glory left. I've got 6 glory left. I do want to add a Slaughter Priest to my army though. So in the General's Handbook 2021, I believe it's 135 points for a Slaughter Priest. Ogre Tribes, a Slaughter Priest costs, Slaughtermaster, costs 140. So to add that to my 4th, it'd cost me 4 glory. So I'm going to do that. that leaves me with 2 glory left at the end of the game, but I do have a Slaughter Master added to my Order of Battle, who obviously he's going to have that nice Wizard Flesh apron that I picked up from doing my quest.
Yeah.
My new quest that I'm going to do, I think I really need to focus on gaining more glory. So I'm going to go for the one where I get an extra 10 glory if I do it.
Yeah.
Because that then means I can spend some glory to repair my units and patch up my Ogres. So yeah, are you adding any units? How many glory have you got left?
4 glory left now.
So you could buy a unit up to from between 101 and 150 points.
Okay,
for
so
4 glory.
the Blade Lords are 130, I think.
Blade Lords.
And the Star Shard Ballista is 125, 30 maybe?
Let us have a look at the Lumineth in the General's Handbook. So the Star Shard Ballista is an artillery piece and it costs 125 points. So that would cost you 4 glory. And what was the other unit, sorry?
The Venari Blade Lords.
The Venari Blade Lords are 130, so that would cost you 4 glory.
Okay, and then the Hurricane Wind Charges, I think they're 155.
Hurricane Wind Charges are 155, so that would cost you an extra point. That would cost you 5 glory to add them.
And the Sonari Cathala.
The Sonari Cathala is 145, so she is in that 4 glory bracket.
Okay. See, in the story in my head, I think it's too early for the Sonari Cathala to join the army. So it's going, and I really wanted to add her with a bodyguard of Blade Lords.
I mean, alternatively, you could bank that glory till next time. The advantage is it gives you more choices for your 600 points because we were quite limited with that small force.
I think I will hold on to my glory for the time.
You're going to hold on to your glory,
yeah.
Cool. So obviously the advantage I've got is if I wanted to, I could swap out the man-eaters for a caster maybe, or maybe leave the tyrant at home because he's licking his wounds and take the Slaughter Master. The way it works is essentially you will agree the point of the battle based on the minimum size that each person's got. Obviously, if you've both got bigger forces, you could agree we'll play 800 points, for example. So yeah, really, really cool. So that is all our kind of post-battle sequence stuff. So, Jay, what did you think of our first game of Path to Glory?
This is the first time we've really played, well, I've really played Age of Sigmar with no objectives on the board.
Yeah, now some of the Path to Glory missions do have objectives that you're trying to get. They're more narrative based, it's about telling a story really. Yep. The cool thing is that we could choose for our next game to play a kind of an open play kind of one where we roll up a random mission. Again, this is how long we've been streaming, just under 2 hours. So, and obviously this is while talking through the rules and we've spent a bit of time going through the post-battle sequence. But really, those little games you can get through quite quickly.
Yeah, you could have an evening of multiple games, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could probably play a quick little game like this on your lunch break maybe. Obviously it's taking a little bit longer with us talking through the rules and what's happening. Alternatively, you could build up your army and then play match play missions out of the General's Handbook. And if you did, you follow the rules of that battle pack. So you have to have your requirements of battle line units, your caps on heroes, with your Path to Glory army essentially being your selection models that you can choose from, which is a really clever way of doing it. Yeah. I mean, obviously the Ogres got absolutely battered, but it was fun trying to get the quest achieved. And maybe in hindsight, I thought maybe I should have done a charge to try and limit it. I just felt with the -1 to hit on them, I don't know if the Ogres would have done much damage. But then on the other hand, in theory, they could have taken out a unit with the impact hits.
Well, they could, because I mean, you killed a lot of them after I'd attacked. If you'd charged, you would have gone first. I went first with 2 units before the Ogres got to attack.
See, I've not had enough games against the Lumineth.
No,
the tricky things they can do. The -1 to hit essentially all the time on your general really hurt as well.
Yeah, until he uses his Aether Quartz, yeah.
But he's going to hold on to the game.
You hold on to that for as long as you can, because it gives him +1 to cast his spell and -1 to hit. So why would you risk using the Aether Quartz? Especially when a lot of the Aether Quartz abilities, I mean, I had to use it for the casting when I failed a few casting rolls. But the Aether Quartz abilities, 2 of them, you can use the command abilities now.
Yeah, so no, I enjoyed it. What we're going to do, like we said earlier, we're going to try and use lots of different armies and different forces that we haven't really seen before in our battles. My plan is to basically make a Path to Glory army for every army that I own, which between us we've got most of the factions in the game, so that'll be fun. The Soulblight Gravelords very nearly got 600 points of them painted, so they may well feature in the next battle.
Yeah.
We know that Dave is working on some Skaven as well, and obviously the Cruel Boys from Dominion as well. For my Stormcast, I'm really going to hold fire until the new Stormcast Battle Tome comes out, because I think it's silly starting it now where I imagine we're going to see some cool Path to Glory content within that book. So maybe I think we've seen that it's out in July, I want to say. Don't quote me on that though. So not long to wait till that, and I imagine the Cruel Boys will drop at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks a lot for joining us on the Path to Glory. Let us know if you're going to be starting your own Path to Glory campaign as well. Give us a shout on Twitter if you are playing any battles, and if you want to get involved with the campaign, certainly anyone in the local area, we could certainly have some games as well on the stream maybe. So give us a shout on Twitter if you are up for having some Path to Glory battles, because I think that'd be great fun.
I know some of the Purple Sparkle Unicorns were interested in joining in.
Absolutely, yeah. I know Dodgy Roller himself is probably up for having a bit of a Path to Glory battle as well. So yeah, thanks for joining us on this Saturday lunchtime battle. We'll be back next week, I think, again with the same one, and all going to plan. We should be streaming some painting tomorrow night as well. We might try and get, we were talking about getting some Adeptus Titanicus in at some point, just work out the timing for that, but a stream battle of that will be a bit of fun as well. So thanks a lot for joining. Hopefully we see you next time, and yeah, take care.
Bye.